Picture for a moment an elegant woman strolling through a sunlit room, her steps almost inaudible on polished wooden floors. She takes in the quiet glow, the soft drape of curtains, the subtle interplay of light and shadow. Though she is often introduced as the younger sister of Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis, she possesses a distinct grace that transcends the label of Jackie's sister. She is Lee Radziwill, a figure of understated poise, resilience, and cosmopolitan sophistication. This is not a tale of flamboyance or ostentation. It is a reflection on how one woman's residences, scattered across continents, echoed the chapters of her life: youth, fame, sorrow, and, ultimately, the gentle forging of her own identity. Born Caroline Lee Bouvier, Lee was raised in a world shaped by tradition and expectations. In her early years, she and her elder sister Jackie navigated upper-class society, forging a bond as both playmates and confidants, two individuals who would grow into iconic symbols of style. Jackie's future would take her to the White House, marrying into a political dynasty and becoming a beloved American First Lady. Lee, on the other hand, would marry a Polish prince, Stanisław Albrecht Radziwill, becoming a princess by title, yet always retaining an American spirit. In many respects, Lee's journey, marked by beauty, travel, and personal evolution, found its reflection in her choice of homes. Each house became a tableau upon which she projected her aesthetic sense, her joys, and her sorrows. Let us begin in Europe, with the Radziwill estate that embodied both Lee's youthful optimism and the weight of aristocratic custom. Somewhere amidst the rolling landscapes, historically nurtured by centuries of tradition, stood a stately home that bore witness to the swirl of Lee's early married life. There, she merged her American upbringing with centuries-old European customs. Picture vine-laden walls and manicured gardens stretching into the horizon. Inside, marble floors might meet antique tapestries, a subtle interplay of old-world grandeur and contemporary taste. For Lee, this estate symbolized her entry into a rarefied social sphere. She was a princess, yes, but also a modern woman who adored minimal touches and fine lines. During those days, Lee's primary influence was not the gilded antiques or ornate flourishes that one might imagine in a European palace, but rather a sense of refined restraint. She would famously say that quality, rather than quantity, was her guiding principle. Her subtlety in design was a reflection of her own personality, dignified, yet longing for a simpler expression of beauty. At that time, however, the estate also witnessed her struggles, the daily balancing act of being an American socialite, a mother, and a European princess. Visitors might recall the grand dining hall, where candlelit dinners illuminated not just the wealth of the Radziwill lineage, but also Lee's gentle smile, a hostess who understood the power of ambiance and conversation. This European estate was her introduction to a life that tested her resiliency, teaching her how to navigate the complexities of aristocratic expectations. From the old-world hush of Europe, Lee returned to the high-energy pulse of Manhattan. Her Park Avenue apartment became a sanctuary perched above the city that rarely sleeps. In this setting, one could almost imagine a panoramic window revealing rows of glowing skyscrapers against a twilight sky. Yet the apartment itself was no showy penthouse. Instead, it spoke quietly of Lee's deepening philosophy. Beautiful silhouettes, exquisite fabrics, a thoughtful selection of art, and furnishings that felt curated rather than collected en masse. If the European estate bore witness to her youthful marriage and evolving identity, the Park Avenue apartment stood as a testament to her growing independence. By this stage, Lee had stepped away from earlier chapters of her life and was forging her own path, quite literally decorating the canvas of her future. She developed close friendships with visionaries of her time, designers, editors, artists. You could almost see her hosting a small gathering in the salon, perhaps joined by legendary figures of fashion or the occasional luminary from the arts. The color palette might have been muted, soft grays, creams, or gentle blues, allowing a statement piece such as a striking painting or a chic modernist table to become the focal point. Through it all, there was an undercurrent of introspection. In the hush of the Park Avenue nights behind those drawn curtains, Lee grappled with personal heartbreaks, lost loves, familial tensions, the immense shadow cast by her famous sister's public tragedies. It is said that Lee's taste for simplicity emerged all the stronger in those difficult times, as though she found solace in pared-down spaces that reflected her own desire for clarity. While her relationship to Jackie often shaped the world's perception, she was in truth an individual who grappled with love, loss, and reinvention on her own terms. Her homes, each unique, each lovingly crafted, bore silent testament to her journey. As we step back from the tapestry of Lee's residences, let us hold on to the truth that a home can be a place of healing and self-expression, a container for our memories, an environment for our growth, and a reflection of our most cherished values. Lee Radziwill understood this deeply. She recognized that the spaces we inhabit are every bit as important as the garments we wear or the company we keep. They shape our lives in subtle ways, providing comfort when the world outside feels overwhelming, offering inspiration when our creative spirits run dry, and quietly marking the passage of time as we journey through love, sorrow, and renewal. For those of us who remember Lee Radziwill, we might recall a poised figure with impeccable taste, standing just a step behind her famous sister, yet forging a path uniquely her own. Her life reminds us that style is not about extravagance. Rather, it is about authenticity and grace, and in the hush of each home she fashioned, we can still hear her whisper that sometimes, in silence and simplicity, we find our truest selves. So ends our exploration of Lee Radziwill's secret residences, a glimpse into a world of style, silence, and sorrow. May it inspire us all to consider the environments we create around us, to fill them not with clutter, but with meaning, and to recognize that every room can hold a piece of our story, waiting quietly to be revealed. The minimalism she championed wasn't cold or austere. Instead, it was an homage to the idea that every piece, every detail, must hold meaning, no more, no less. We now arrive in Paris, where Lee established yet another residence. In that city of light, steeped in artistic tradition and architectural beauty, she found a space that mirrored her desire to remain connected to a global world. Paris had always been a muse for the Bouvier sisters, a city that enshrined style in every gilded corner. Lee's Paris apartment, with its high ceilings and balcony views of historic avenues, embodied the delicate poise of French design while still carrying her personal mark. Picture-tall windows framed by simple cream drapes, a subtle antique console table, perhaps a contemporary sculpture, adding a whisper of modern flair. Here, her life intersected with luminaries such as Yves Saint Laurent, Valentino, and other tastemakers who shaped the eras of fashion and art scenes. The apartment itself felt like a refined backstage where Lee prepared for glittering social events or quiet, intimate dinners. Yet, beneath the glamour, there was always a sense of longing. It was in Paris that Lee often confronted the weight of her past, her sister's tragedies in public view, her own quest for purpose, and the ephemeral nature of high society's admiration. In that sense, the apartment was both a refuge and a theater, a place where she could slip away from prying eyes or entertain those within her trusted circle, always with an eye toward grace and subtlety. From the polished halls of Paris, Lee's path eventually led to a different kind of sanctuary, her Hamptons retreat. Stretching out along the Atlantic, the Hamptons are known for pristine beaches, lush lawns, and homes that mix traditional New England charm with the breezy feel of seaside living. For Lee, the Hamptons property was a place of respite, where ocean air and open skies might offer a sense of release from the burdens of personal history. Here, she spent quieter days, perhaps strolling along a sandy shore or sitting in a garden with a friend, sipping tea while the seagulls called overhead. The design of this retreat naturally leaned toward lighter tones and airy fabrics, nautical whites, gentle blues, sun-bleached woods. While there was, as always, a carefully curated selection of antiques and modern pieces, it felt more relaxed, more personal. One imagines French doors flung open to let in a sea breeze, curtains drifting lazily in the afternoon sun. The hustle and formality of city life gave way to a gentler routine, morning walks, casual luncheons, time spent reflecting on the past without quite so much pain. It was a space that symbolized a certain acceptance of age, of sorrow, of the quiet joys still to be found in each day. Throughout her life, Lee Radziwill was hailed as an arbiter of taste. She never seemed interested in following trends blindly. Instead, she championed what was timeless, believing in an almost architectural precision to each space. She avoided clutter, allowing rooms to breathe. Flowers, chosen for their subtle color or exquisite fragrance, might appear here or there. A painting by a gifted friend could be the centerpiece of a living room, but she would avoid filling every wall, preferring emptiness to insincerity. This approach influenced many in the realm of interior decoration and fashion, showcasing a distinctly American take on European sophistication, fresh, refined, and approachable. For Lee, these homes were more than mere statements of wealth or status. They were stages where her life's dramas and comedies played out. They held memories of children laughing in corridors, of heartfelt talks with friends deep into the night, of heartbreak and resilience. If one were to wander through these residences now, some sold or refurbished over time, some relegated to photographs and fading accounts, one might still sense her presence in each choice of fabric, each carefully placed chair, each window that offered just the right view. What does it mean for a home to be a mirror of the soul? Perhaps it means that our surroundings reflect our deepest desires, our longing for comfort, our pursuit of beauty, our need for sanctuary. In Lee's case, her residences silently chronicled her evolution from a hopeful young princess in a European estate to a mature, introspective woman seeking solace by the sea. In each living space, she expressed her passion for design and her search for emotional grounding. Walls that once held echoes of laughter or tears stand as muted witnesses to the joys and sorrows that unfold in every life, no matter how glamorous or sheltered. Lee Radziwill passed away in 2019, leaving behind a legacy that can be felt in the pages of interior design magazines and in the recollections of friends and admirers. She carried herself with a kind of delicate fortitude, quiet but unyielding.